YouTube, how's it going? We're back with some more off-season breakdowns. Our favorite teams, our winners and losers, not just favorites, winners and losers teams-wise of the off-season so far. We're not quite through it. We've got the more free agency, the draft, but we're pretty much through the big part of it, the free agency and the trade. So we'll break down our winners and losers. I'm going to ask you, sir, to give me your 3 winners right here, right now.
Well, in this order, 3. I have Minnesota Vikings.
Okay. Break down why. Yeah, I think you were anyways.
I was going to do it anyway. I like the Sheldon Richardson signing. I think that only makes their defense even better. And the Kirk Cousins, obviously the 2 big deals. Kirk Cousins, he's going to make them better than what they. I mean, they're still going to be very good. I think either way, no matter what the quarterback was, but I like that they went out and attacked the best quarterback on the market. I like that. And because they were always kind of known that we didn't know if they were going to go out and spend the money, and that's why I put them up there. I like that. Number 2, I got the Bears.
Bears. All right, let me put the Bears on the board for the winners. Left side's going to be winners. Right side's going to be losers. Pretty simple here.
I got the Bears because obvious reasons. They revamped that offense. They went out and got Trubisky some weapons. And I can't be mad about that. They went out and paid Fuller. Can't be mad about that. They're making necessary steps, and I think it's becoming more and more clear what they're targeting in this draft this year. And I like that. I don't like when they try to do all this smoke screen stuff.
Just do it.
Go get who you need. Number 1, Cleveland Browns. They're making money moves, let me tell you.
Money moves for the Browns?
Moves. They're in position this year to be competitive, which is weird to say. Felt weird coming out of my mouth, let me tell you. But they have made the necessary trades, the necessary signings, and now they got this high position in the draft. And I think that it's going to be – there might be something brewing there in Cleveland. Something is most certainly brewing.
Well, all right. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give 3 different winners just for the fans. I agree with your 3. I like the Vikings. I like Kirk Cousins. Definitely made them better. I love the Sheldon Richardson signing. The number 1 defense actually got better. That was one of my favorite signings. The Bears did what they had to do. They got Allen Robinson, number 1 receiver, free agent receiver, if you don't count Jarvis Landry. They pretty much just did what they needed to do. They didn't have a ton of draft picks, so they had to go do this, even though they still have to win the draft for them to keep moving on this rebuild process, which they're not super early on, but they need to do a good job in the draft is the bottom line. And the Browns, I didn't have them as high as the Vikings and the Bears. I think the Vikings and the Bears, those are the 2 biggest winners, in my opinion. But the Browns made some good trades, but some trades I didn't like, so that's maybe why I didn't have them high up. But they needed to win during the draft, and they're set up to do that, so they can be considered a winner. But I'll give you guys 3 new winners, different winners. I'm going to give you the Niners.
Ooh.
Richard Sherman, got a good deal on him, got a good corner, which they needed. They got more than what I'm going to break down, but Jerick McKinnon, also a great fit. They needed him, and it doesn't make them go out and trade up or something to get a running back. They can stick to their board. They can do what they want. They can win the draft as well, but they got some fits. They got some line over there, too. They got some other players, but I really like those 2 guys. Those are the big names there. Sherman got a good deal. McKinnon is a great fit with Shanahan. Another winner is going to be the Packers. They go out and get Muhammad Wilkerson, which they desperately needed. Hopefully he can get on the field. Off the field issues are okay, hopefully. They needed him at their DN position. I like him a lot there. They need a lot of defense. I like the Kaiser move. I like him. We'll have a video for breaking down the trades, but Kaiser's got potential. He wasn't good last year, but he has potential, and where's a better place to go?
Just to sit behind Rodgers.
Yeah, it's perfect. So I like that. Jimmy Graham obviously makes them better. A lot of money, but it makes them better. It's a new weapon for Rodgers. Jordy Nelson has been not as good lately, but I don't know if I really like the release of him because it was kind of Rodgers' favorite guy. So maybe that doesn't make them number 1 here. But my next team is going to be the Tennessee Titans. My 3rd team here. Very good offseason. Needed corner bad. Got Malcolm Butler. Fits the defense, playing with former teammate Logan Ryan. Got Vrabel in there. Makes sense. They get Deion Lewis. They need another running back, a good one, another Patriots guy to pair with Derrick Henry. Like it a lot. They re-signed some guys there. But what they did was they set themselves up to draft pass rush, whether it's D-line or linebacker, middle linebacker too. I know that's really not pass rush. They set themselves up where they can draft to set up a contending team, I think. You didn't want to go into the draft needing the corners on top of the linebackers, pass rush, running back. So really they can focus on defense, mainly that linebacker, pass rush area, D-line if they miss out on Ndamukong Suh. So they set themselves up pretty good. I like the Titans. I like their offseason a lot. So we got some winners. We got some good winners in there. Do we talk losers now?
Let's talk losers.
Oh, another team. Actually, I want to throw another team, a couple other teams on the winning board, actually. Some honorable mentions I almost forgot about. I'm going to throw the Bills up there. I mean, not as good as a winner as the other teams, but I like what they did in the trade. They went up from 21 to 12. And
I don't think they're done trading yet.
I don't think they're done trading, but it was a good move. They got some other pieces, too. McCarron was cheap. I'm not a big fan of McCarron, but it was cheap. Set themselves up to have a good backup, whether they trade for a quarterback or maybe they can sit behind McCarron. Starla Tule. They got some other guys. But the reason they're on here is because look at the Jets. The Jets went from 6 to 3. How many draft picks did they give up? A lot.
A whole lot.
The Bills went from 21 to 12. They gave up a lineman, which they feel like they didn't really need. They didn't really give up much, is my point. They cut some cap while doing it. From 21 to 12. Huge jump in what their plan is. I like it.
I think they're still going to shop that 12.
I think they might too. Maybe they get lucky, somebody falls to them. That could be a bigger win. And then another team is one more team I want to put up there is the Eagles. They didn't do a whole lot, but really the best team in the NFL probably got better. Adding Michael Bennett, Nigel Bradham's back. Maybe they didn't get better. Maybe they got a tiny bit better, but they're still on paper they look like they're still the best, most balanced and best team in football. With some other teams close to them. But again, left side of the screen here is the biggest winners. I like these teams. There's other teams you can put in here. A lot of winners this offseason, but I like these teams. But let's get on to the losers. Unfortunately, we got to point out some losers here. You got anybody you want to bring up here?
I got 3. I'm going to go first one, the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Reason being, I'm not sure what they're doing.
Okay.
In our early free agent videos and all this discussion, we thought they were a quarterback away from contending or being competitive.
Yeah.
But if you look at it now, they're not.
They're still a quarterback away.
Still a quarterback.
They signed 2. Well, and they got rid of Tyrann Mathieu, too.
Yeah. So I don't know. And there's no interest, as far as I know, in bringing back maybe John Brown, who they're losing, who I liked in that system.
He's gone. Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Like, even if Go get Bradford, but then draft a quarterback.
They get Glennon in there.
Like, why waste the money on Glennon? I'm not sure why he's still sticking around.
They can turn this thing around the draft. I'm a believer in building through the draft, but we don't know if the Cardinals were a team that should be building, like rebuilding.
Right.
Maybe, but
now they are.
Yeah.
But look, if Bradford got hurt and they draft a quarterback, who steps in, Glennon or the rookie?
It's going to be the rookie.
I would hope the rookie, but like. Now Glennon might actually, and that's stupid.
Bradford. There's a good chance he's going to get hurt too.
Yeah.
So, and they gave him a big contract, so I'd agree with that.
Number 2, I'm going to throw up the Ravens here. Reason being, what was their biggest need going into free agency? Wide receivers.
I do like the Crabtree one, but they didn't really.
They swung and missed on a lot of these top names that they were tied to. You missed on Jarvis. You missed on Allen Robinson. You missed on Watkins. They had a shot to do that, and it's like. They had to wait until Crabtree was cut. What if he never got cut?
Yeah.
Then it's just like,
they got a little lucky there.
They got very lucky that he was cut. And number 1, I've been saying it.
I got to take on the Ravens. I don't have them in my losers, but not that they're a winner because I think they could draft a receiver still, which makes sense to pair with Crabtree. I do like the Crabtree side, but they're not I wouldn't have them in my bottom 3, but they're in no way a winner. So I understand your point. But yeah, you're number 1.
My number 1, Seattle. What? Just what are you doing? I don't understand anything, any of their moves. I'm not sure I'm getting. And I think that their front office might be a little drunk. They want a first and a third for Earl Thomas. Like, what?
I mean, he's going to leave anyways.
But who's giving you a first and a third?
He's a good player, but yeah, he might as well leave. He might leave next year anyways.
He's leaving next year.
They couldn't get Sheldon Richardson back. Apparently, the Vikings offered the Seahawks more money than Sheldon Richardson. He got a 1-year, $8 million deal, and he's a legit. He's been in the Pro Bowl.
So they're trying to lowball their own guy.
Their own good guys.
I don't understand.
It doesn't. They would be my number 1 too. I got 3 other teams, but the Seahawks would be number 1 too because if you have Russell Wilson, arguably the best player in football, you gotta play to contend, and they're not doing that. They're doing the opposite. This would make more sense if they traded Russell Wilson. If they traded Earl Thomas, they traded Cam Chancellor, they traded Bobby Wagner, it would make more sense to me. But it doesn't really make sense to me. Now they're trying to go get Ndamukong Suh. They're trying to get their veteran running backs that get hurt. Like nothing really makes sense. I mean, I've trusted their front office here for a while. They've been good, but it doesn't really make sense. They need more draft picks as well.
I agree.
They traded the Michael Bennett trade. They got nothing for him. Yeah. So they just go give him to the Eagles, who they got to play against, who is going to contend, who's going to beat up Russell Wilson if they play him in a game that matters because their D-line got even better because of you. And apparently the Patriots offered them more for Bennett, and they don't like the Patriots apparently. They play in the AFC. If you're
my God.
I don't like what the Seahawks are doing. They'd be my number 1 loser as well. But I got 3 different teams for you guys here. Speaking of the Patriots, just mentioned them. I'm going to put them up here again. I do like the Claiborne signing, but they lost so many guys. They lost a left tackle, maybe one of the most important positions in football, especially for Tom Brady. Nate Solder, they couldn't pay him, I understand, but you lost him. You expected them to get Talib or Sherman. They got neither. They needed corners pretty badly. They went and traded for Jason McCourty. Not a bad trade, but he's not your answer. He's an older guy, but he can still play. But you're just missing out on your own. Malcolm Butler's gone. We expected that, but you got worse at corner, losing him. Really just losing guys. Amendola. Tom Brady liked Amendola.
I like the Patterson.
Yeah, I was going to say I do like the Patterson trade, but I mean they're not the biggest loser, but the Patriots they're going to be good still, but they got worse as we sit right now. They're worse.
They got worse, but they're still going to be.
They're still going to be up there because their division's kind of weak mainly, so they're lucky for that reason. Another loser, I'm going to go with the Lions. I don't like what they're doing. They didn't really get anybody. A team that you think, I wouldn't say a contender as in Super Bowl contender, but a playoff contender, right? You would agree that they can be a playoff contender?
They can be.
But they have so many holes on defense. I do 7-round mocks. I evaluate each team before I do that mock, and I was surprised to see how many holes they had on defense. Not giant holes, but they needed help, and a contending team can't rely on the draft. I'm all for building the draft. I like the class. I like the talent, but I bring up an example, another NFC North team from last year, the Vikings. They knew they could be a contender despite missing the playoffs last year. So they went and signed a bunch of line free agency. So they narrowed down their draft, what they needed to build to the draft to certain positions, and it worked out for them. They were a contending team. The Lions needed to narrow that down. I mean, they got some mediocre guys in there. They need more help. But the biggest thing is running back. Abdullah and Riddick, I like Abdullah and Riddick. Yeah, you can get better. You can get a legit number 1 running back. But did they get Frank Gore and they got another veteran, LeGarrette Blount.
I think it's just Blount. I don't know if they got Gore too.
And then they brought in Gore.
They brought him in, but I don't know if they signed him.
Yeah, I mean, what are they trying to do is basically my question here. 3 running backs. I mean, I make mock drafts. People bash me for not giving them a running back in the first round at times. But what are they going to get another? I don't know. I just don't know. It's up in the air.
It confused me too.
There's the NFC teams are getting so good. The NFC is stacked. They may have just made them kick themselves out of the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, they can still. I'm not going to rule them out, but they got to do better. They got to really win this draft. Bottom line, which they could, but they got to go out and do it. And another loser is like the same reason is the Cowboys. The Cowboys can be a playoff team. They can be more than just a playoff team. But they can't just rely on the draft. They got a kind of a mess on defense. They need more receivers as well. They really didn't do anything here. They should have done something in free agency and then go to the draft and finish it off. Get back. I'm not ruling them out like the Lions to get back to the playoffs, but they didn't do a good job here. So they're a big loser for me.
Yeah, I don't know what. Like we thought they were going to do something crazy going into this. Yeah. Watch them still go and trade for.
I mean, I'm glad they got DeMarcus Lawrence back, but. The Vikings re-signed Kai Forbath. Interesting.
What a signing.
Interesting news I just got. He made a career-high 32 field goals last season. Interesting. But how many extra points did he miss? I don't want to know. But shortage on kickers. That's not this video, though. I'm going off topic. But, yeah, there's our winners and losers. That pretty much sums it all up. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Well, thanks for watching. We got plenty other videos, free agency, draft, all kinds of stuff. Check those out if you haven't already. We got plenty more to come. We're going to break down... I want to break down trades. All the trades of the offseason, we'll break those down. Winners and losers on that. Plenty more to come. Draft coverage. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. But that'll do it for this one. Goodbye.